People who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing. The Marxists, the anarchists, the looters, the agitators.
Well,
the Marxists.
come back. Welcome back, dear listeners and viewers. Natalie's being real cool on the video. Everyone, subscribe. The Inane Blather podcast is on YouTube. You don't have to watch our beautiful faces or our ugly mugs, but come on, do us a favor here.
Come on.
It's episode 135. It's episode 135. You can do something for us. But
135.
Yeah. Which is my lucky number. You know why? Because I'm here with you right now, and I'm the luckiest man on earth, and it's episode 135. So I couldn't think up any other good thing, so it's like, who cares?
You know what?
Lucky
He's
numbers
not
are
wrong.
stupid. No.
You're not wrong.
But it's Inane Blather, the podcast that has been described often as...
That was, and I don't say this lightly, worse than 100 September 11th.
Or maybe in shorter terms described as... I don't know how long this goes. Okay, that's too long. I'm cutting it off. But but
that's
Shorter
what she
terms.
said.
that's what she and he and they and all of the people in the crowd said. Yet, they still have to agree, even if you're booing, or if you love us, or even if
You're pooping the bed?
it doesn't matter. You can still join today. You can join the cult of Inane. You can become one of the collective. You can become one of the...
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
And you know what? The more you listen, you're just going to become that anyway. It's kind of an indoctrination thing. It's like what we do in the schools, My gosh, it's so funny. I've been having like a 4-day long, a dumb argument on Twitter with some random right-wing nut job that just Dunning-Kruger personified, one of those types of things. And out of all things, it's just because I made a joke at one point where it's like, he said something. He's like, yeah, well, good thing that all these leftists aren't having kids anymore. All their ideology is just going to go away anyway. Making some stupid comment, like as if, leftists are, developed in the womb or something like that, like these people think. And I just said, well, that's why we've infiltrated the schools and we just take your kids away from you and teach them what we want. And with a little smiley face, he started quoting me. He's like, oh my gosh, they admitted it. One of them admitted it and stuff. And he's like going up. And later on, he's like, you're just mad because you got caught. You got caught and you admitted it. I'm like, you're such a moron. I was like, yep, it's true. I'm also the one who puts razor blades and drugs in the candies on Halloween.
And apples.
He's like, oh my God, we solved it. Oh, wow. That happened to me. Yeah, they could convince themselves of anything, really.
And you know what? I think conservatives are made in the wound because their parents are drinking lead-contaminated water. And,
yeah, they are developed in the womb.
Chain smoking.
But what did you just say, Natalie? I think I heard you say...
You know what?
So now that catches my ear. Now it's just like after R.M. Brown, if someone says generally speaking, boom. It's a sound drop. But when I hear you know what?
You know what?
Is what's in my head. So
you know what?
But and something special. We're recording at night. A little background information
Danae's
just to throw out.
From?
And Danae is recording in the middle of the day. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Isn't that
April
crazy,
1,
bro?
baby.
Oh my gosh.
And that's not an April Fool's
That's
joke.
like a good New York slice.
Yep, that's right. She's in
Nothing
New York
like a Ho Chi
City.
Minh slice. Yeah.
No, what's up, Danae?
What's up? Sorry, I'm
No,
trying
you're
to get
arranging
comfortable.
things.
I should have done that. Should have done that.
People
like,
should go on
literally
YouTube. You got to get closer,
10
Danae. You
minutes
look
before.
gorgeous.
I know,
Gorge.
but I need back
You're like, the
support.
lighting's
'cause
so
I'm
Oh,
old.
good.
yeah. You need to set yourself
Gorgeous
up well.
and old.
Be,
Yeah.
self-care.
Gorgeous and aging. Anyway,
How to
Well-
age gracefully. She's like in her 30s.
That's what
Yeah.
our podcast is really about.
Listen.
Aging
So
gracefully,
start by
not
rubbing a banana peel on your face.
waking up at 3:50 a.m., rubbing a gross banana peel on your face, dunking your head in cold
That's-
water, and not doing anything
Yes.
for another 5 hours until you go to a fake job.
that's actually why I am in Vietnam, is so that I can learn the ways of aging. I'd like to be able to smoke 2 packs a day while
Right.
running a marathon.
Oh yeah,
And then also,
at 70 years old.
yeah, while running a marathon. Don't forget,
Yeah.
like at the same time, because that's happened.
Like 2 packs.
There was,
Straight
I'm
up
going.
40
I'll
cigarettes.
find it. I will find it. There is a guy that did that. Like last year, he like
Man.
was literally smoking
Yeah,
while he
he
was
smoked the
running,
whole
which
time.
I love it. I love that for him. Yeah. So I'm just here to learn all the beauty secrets, and then hopefully
Report
gatekeep them.
back?
And
Yeah,
No.
hopefully, try to make
No.
a buck once I get back,
Yeah.
and be like
maybe get a little
the
I might
Vietnamese
do a little
method or something.
cheap Botox while I'm here. Get a little
Yeah,
box.
we're like, come back
Botox.
looking
Yeah.
totally different. We're like, wow, you did.
I actually,
You
I
found the
did do
method.
it. I did do Botox last time I was here, and like the problem was that the lady I had booked with was in another city at the time, so she was like FaceTiming me, and like, I think you should do this, 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 and this, and like the
Pretending
woman
to put
that
a needle
Yeah,
in.
you're like, ow.
no, and and basically the woman that was like supposed to do it for me was like also sitting there with me, like getting the instructions from the woman on the phone,
Oh boy,
and like didn't speak a lick of English.
not a lick.
Anyway, I was like, oh, this is going to be so cheap and stuff. I ended up spending like $800 US.
Oh my god.
And I
Oh.
had to go back like a month later. Like, I need you to take some of this out of my face. Like I was like, I had
it
like
just cut out.
like dysmorphia, because I was like, this was like supposed
Who
to be
is
like
this?
a slight adjustment. Like my cheeks look weird. Like what's going on? Anyway, so
shit.
Oh boy.
I don't recommend going somewhere unless you can have an English conversation in person.
I don't recommend getting remote
FaceTime Botox.
Yeah.
Remote Botox is not the way to go.
I mean, at
Learn
that
it
point, you
from
might as well
me.
be doing it on your own. You
I
just
know.
get instructions.
Just give me the needle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll send you guys a picture though. I have there was like a tray of all of like the discarded needles and stuff from like the hour that it's crazy.
Wow.
I was like, I was not expecting this much.
You're like, is this
Anyway.
normal? What's wrong with me?
Invasive.
I was like, I just
Can
want
I
to
get
be
for acupuncture or both?
Yeah, they're like, well, you
I
put
was
us out of
literally, like-
business.
like I was literally just wanting to do, I was like, just make me like a little bit more like symmetrical, because like I have like kind of like a little bit of a lazier eye. Everyone has like something. So I was like, I just wanted it to be like kind of, but she went
definitely do.
she went hardcore on it.
Oh.
And
then so she had to make up for it. Then there's another needle on the floor. Then gotta go
don't
back to
know,
the
I
other side.
guess.
Another needle on the floor.
I don't know, but like I don't know. I'm pro injections personally.
Yeah.
Though I'm also like at some points where I'm like, okay, like when you stop looking like yourself and like trying to look like
Right.
someone else, I'm like, okay, like come on, But
Sure.
also to each their own. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
You
thing. It's like there's that give and take where it's like, you could look at people that go overboard, or with plastic surgery, of course, but like where it's just like, why did you do that? Why would you think it looks better? And it's like, but at the same time, it's
Yeah.
like, that's not up to you anyway. People can look how they want to look. Whatever looks better. It's like, but is that what they think? Is that what they were going for? Or are they hooked on modification? It's
I
like
think it's
getting
like a little
covered
bit
in
of both.
tattoos. It's like kind of
Yeah.
you went that route instead of tattoos.
or like
You know?
piercings and stuff too.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Where it's not
mean,
it's not for
I-
aesthetics anymore. It's because you like getting it done. So could be
Yeah.
something
I
there.
feel like for everyday people, it's like whatever. But it would be nice for like a little bit more transparency with like people setting the beauty standards, like in
Yes,
Hollywood and stuff.
absolutely.
That's where it's like, can you guys just admit that you're all getting Botox
Yeah.
and nose jobs and veneers
It's like,
and chin
it's
jobs
okay.
and cheek lifts? It's like, we know you are, and I feel really gaslit, and it feels really
Yeah.
like not helpful or healthy. If it's like, if you want to do it, you must be okay with doing it because you're doing it.
Yeah.
So not like you like
You shouldn't
owe it
be
to people. It's like,
ashamed.
well, it's like
Even-
it's my body, and it's like, but all of us are like, you are perpetuating these beauty standards,
Yeah.
whether you
Yeah.
like it or not. You are the person that people are taking photos of. You are that is
True.
what this is. So if you could
Right.
just be more transparent about it, that would be very helpful,
It's-
I think, for people, because regardless of what I feel about plastic surgery or any of those kinds of things, people are going to do it, whatever. And it's like a bummer to me that humans become so insecure. But it's like, it would be helpful if you really knew for sure that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Even though you can see it. Tom Cruise's fucking teeth, man,
Oh.
he used to have such a fucked up like jawline and stuff. Like his teeth were like all crooked and off.
Teeth in Hollywood
Not like he was like
is a
ugly or
menace.
something.
Veneers.
Everybody has perfect like nyeh, like that. And it's
Yeah.
like, can you guys just be
Also,
like, just you did it. And
Also,
I mean, it'd be
I-
nice if you didn't, but
yeah, and also just like to talk more about like the hazards of that stuff too, because like veneers,
Yeah.
also, the process of veneers, disgusting. We'll never
Really?
do that. Personally, like they like shave your teeth down and like put caps on there, and they don't last forever. You have to get them
Wow.
replaced and stuff. It's disgusting.
totally.
Wow. It's like,
And,
Most
like,
of it is
I
not
just-
forever.
on
Not,
your-
no
in your
plastic
mouth.
surgery.
None of it's
nothing like that
forever.
is
True.
permanent.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, and
Yeah, see, that's why
and
they should
even,
just go
like-
with tattoos.
Well, even
then
like
you keep
the
modifying and it lasts. No.
there you go. Yeah. Even like like to. Okay, I think we're good.
No,
Also-
disc
oh.
too slow.
Also, Kanye's mom died.
Yes.
From like she was undergoing like it is
That
a
was
real
like
risk too of
BBL
like
or
procedures
something,
that go
right?
under anesthesia.
People don't talk about that enough.
It's like a genuine. It's like
Mhm.
you know it, and it's like a risk that comes with every surgery. But those are
There's a
risks,
reason.
and you can't downplay the fact
Mm-hmm.
that you can have BBLs and stuff. They have
Cardi
like this
B.
really bad.
Right.
Yes, like bad rate of like things going wrong with them and having to have multiple surgeries to correct some of
Yeah.
these things. And every single surgery you have where you go under anesthesia, you are at risk of dying. That is just a fact.
Yeah.
There are some things, anesthesiologists, they do a good job. They cannot
Yeah.
predict everything. All those things. It's like, just be realistic about.
I mean,
it's like,
I
and if
do.
you want
Let's
to do
be
it,
real.
then just say you're doing it. Just be like, yeah, I want a big fat fake fucking ass,
Yeah.
and I don't want to. It's like going to
Believe
the gym.
me,
That would take me 10
more
years
Yeah, well-
to you.
to do that. So I'm not gonna. So just like, but
that
everyday
regret
people,
rate,
I don't
yeah.
really care about. Again,
Yeah.
Yeah, or
It's-
even
people
like when
Cardi
they
B,
people
even when
have-
they go back
Kardashian,
to like
people like
reverse stuff
Hollywood
like that,
celebrities.
like Kim
They have to be there
Kardashian
for
guys,
those
like,
regular
started
people
to slowly
to
like
know.
move away
Yeah.
from like
Yes.
the BBLs and like change their bodies like like back to like kind of normal-ish. But like, and they're not very transparent about it. Like you have to be like watching that like a hawk, which like some people do. But like I was gonna say, like those like body specific
Yeah.
like obviously the anesthesia is the thing, but like yeah, BBLs are very dangerous. Like you can like get blood clots really easily and stuff. And like no one really talks about that when they're talking about major surgeries and stuff. So I think that's really
Yeah.
important too. And then I was gonna say, like, even with normal people, like when they don't like disclose that they like get work done and stuff, like there's someone that I know that's like an in-law of mine. She looks fantastic for her age. She's in her like late 50s, 60s, early 60s. That woman has had work done. But because I know what it looks like to have work done, my mother does not know that. So my mom sees that person, compares herself to that person. Like, why? Like, not like in a terrible way, but like she's like, wow, like she's so beautiful, and like I'm just getting older and older, like my wrinkles, blah blah blah. I'm like, mother, she has had work done. There's a reason she goes to Mexico so
Aw.
often.
Yeah.
Like, and that's fine that she does that, but like it's
Yeah.
like, remember, like these
Yeah.
people do not look like this naturally.
That's what everyone
Often
around here does.
like
Yeah.
it's like, anyway, that's just something I'm like, okay, like let's be more upfront about like the fact that, hey, I'm getting this done. Anyway.
Yeah. And the And the other side of it is where you can do things naturally, and it just takes so much work and discipline or whatever, and look naturally, youthful. Like a person that Natalie and I know, incredible in her 50s, looked so amazing because she is so on it. Whitney,
SPF.
She's
man.
no matter what,
very hydrated,
SPF 50.
Expensive
skincare. Yeah, I mean, she's a rich white woman, but it's like so it's possible, and it's like, wow, she looks amazing. It's like, yeah, because she works really hard and is disciplined to do it. She
works out.
Yeah.
Every single day. She has, and it's like there's definitely a privilege that goes along with it. She goes to the doctor, she goes to the dermatologist, she takes care of like all of those things. She's all natural and all that, but with
she
the
has
help
the time
of, like,
to do
being
it.
Able
yeah,
to
she has like time
in actual, like when we're talking about morning routines, she definitely has a great morning routine.
Yep.
She has the time, and when she didn't, even when she was working like full time, she would get up early. She would go to the gym because her husband could stay home and watch the kids, while she was out of the house before she went to work, her other job, and then like she would have the time to be like, well, on my lunch break, there was like a yoga place that you could afford to go to, and I could do this and I could do that. And I had, it's like all these things to be able to live really healthily and really care for herself and really be intentional about it. And man, she does look great.
Smoke show. Yeah.
But absolutely. Yeah. And she's like a regular person.
Yeah.
but she gets her hair done by a nice hairdresser and all those kinds of things. Yeah. She's like nice makeup.
There's all the things. And you do your makeup right. You dress the way that suits you, yada, yada. But, and then even having that opportunity still takes all that discipline to keep that up. And it's like, hey, which route do you want to go? It's like, or you could like be like a normal person and just, get some injections here and there. It's like, as long as it's being safe, then that sounds better. The technology is there. But it's funny that it's like the flip side to men. It's funny, like how we have, like, to generalize, but on the masculine side, it's like, for whatever reason, why guys won't be upfront about steroid usage. It's like that with guys. It's like how, the nose jobs or things upholding beauty standards. It's like these masculine things, for built guys and stuff. How sometimes it's like, well, it's obvious, of course, because this guy's using steroids. Or they talk about the guys in Hollywood that get
they've
in
got
shape
trainers and people making their meal
and sometimes they're so like Hugh Jackman and stuff like that, where it's like, well, they're using HGH and trainers, and it's like, just be upfront about that.
Sylvester Stallone said that he was like, I wouldn't be able to get back into like when he did that Creed, whatever movie he would, or
when he did Rocky Balboa,
movie,
I think
when he's like in his 60s, he's like, I took HGH,
of course,
obviously. Like I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm like 62 years old. Look, did you see my body in that thing?
Yeah, and then it's like,
and personal trainers and nutritionists and so on and so forth, and like literally that's your job to get in shape and all that. But and it's again. Normal people, everyday people, whatever. Like, no offense, but you're not really influencing too many people.
Yeah.
Influencers, like, really setting a standard, like, culturally and, like, reinforcing these standards is, like, and saying, especially, like, fitness, people who are, like, talking about like their routines.
That's why they're
I wash my face with Dasani water and I do all this stuff. And you're on
Ozempic.
It's like,
and you probably got a
brow
Greg
lift.
Turkington.
And you got lip injections.
Yeah.
It's not just because you work out 4 days a week and you eat your vegetables. It's those other things too that you have to go to a doctor to get. It's not just like something you can just like in your day-to-day life. I'm at Safeway or
it is
like
your
Hollywood doctor
or what
your
Dr. Vinny Boom Bots
influencer money doctor
gets to sign off on anything. Or I was gonna say like that transparency thing, and then it's so funny when they actually people are transparent about it. When Rob McElhenney or however you pronounce his
yeah.
name, when he was Fat Mac,
From It's
and then he
Always
got back
Sunny.
into shape and was absolutely cut, looks like a fucking
Shredded.
Bowflex model. Like, it looks like he'd be on the cover
He looks like a
of
Botox
Men's
model.
Fitness.
He's like,
Yeah, exactly. And then he just posted and he said, look, it's not that hard. All you need to do is lift weights 6 days a week, stop drinking alcohol, don't eat anything after 7 p.m., don't eat any carbs or sugar at all. In fact, just don't eat anything you like. Get the personal trainer from Magic Mike, sleep 9 hours a night, run 3 miles a day, and have a studio, pay for the whole thing over a 6 to 7 month span. I don't know why everyone's not doing this. It's a super realistic lifestyle and an appropriate body image to compare oneself. You know, and it's like, exactly. It's like, not only you have those resources, but what, you can just do that. Like, imagine like thinking like, okay,
That's your
if I
job.
could do this, you know, if I could work out this much and torture myself this much because I'm only eating chicken breast and brown rice every fucking day and like working out
also,
3 hours a day. It's like, also
that's his job.
he doesn't even have to go
And,
to
like,
a
also,
job
like,
during
let's
that
call-
time. He's just
let's call
shape.
those cuts what
That
they are,
is
which
his
is
job.
eating
Yeah.
disorders.
Just for a
So,
bit.
like, not sustainable whatsoever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, his
definitely not sustainable.
It's like Christian
Like,
Bale.
It's not like a healthy,
Yeah.
like a healthy lifestyle. It's like you're getting cut. Hugh Jackman, we were just talking to him for Wolverine. He said he would set an alarm. He would get up at like 3 a.m. to eat a chicken breast. He would eat every 6 hours, like a certain amount of protein, and like it really was like
you weigh it out.
extremely
Yeah.
scheduled, and you don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm going to be tired for work. It's like. Because that is, you are working. That's what you're doing right now.
Yeah, part
It's
of
like
your
you don't
job
have to,
is
like,
getting enough
balance
sleep
it with
after
your
that.
life.
Yeah.
That is your life.
Yeah. Where it's like they want you to sleep so that when you wake up you can go back to the trainer. That's what you're doing right now. That's in a contract somewhere that you're doing this right now. It's like yeah, you have to, and I mean you want to at that point. But yeah, exactly. You know what? That's why I still need to lose about 25 pounds, is because I don't have the personal trainer from Magic Mike, all right? So, and I still haven't tried the Ozempic, even though I qualified and they would give it to me.
Are awful.
Because, I don't know, it's like shots and stuff. I don't know. I used the other one. Well, I used the other similar thing where you don't have to take injections.
Meth?
Yeah, no. I would definitely lose weight, but that's not sustainable. But and yeah, there's like a 3-week span of when they're slowly upping your medication. I felt like shit every day. It sucks. I was like, oh, this is what people are talking about when they feel nauseous. I guess I've just never really felt nauseous. I was like, because this sucks. And then it's like, finally, it's like, oh, I'm going to use the bathroom and be like, I don't want to go back in there. That was horrible. I was like, what's happening to me? And it's like you're talking to the online doctor and stuff and having to do all this different things. And still, I cut, and then I lose like 13 pounds. And then plateau, and it's just like, why am I even taking this? It's just so they could make some fucking money off me. I don't care at this point. I just need to get into a better routine, and this isn't going to help me do it. So, whatever. It might cut out my midnight snacking, maybe. Or maybe it'll just make those midnight snacks horrific the next day. So, it's like, well,
anything.
I don't know. I'll take it.
My willpower to snack can override some fucking drug.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's
like,
the
I mean,
worst.
come on.
It's like, how come I quit drinking? I hardly ever smoke weed anymore. How do I
Way
still
easier
have
to
the
quit-
munchies at night? All the time.
Umberto and I have talked about this. It has been way easier for me to quit drinking. Way easier than to like
Quit
consistently
carbs.
eat healthy.
Yeah.
No fucking way. It's like such like an up and down, like, oh my God, being consistent on that. Drinking, that's like, I'm like, yeah, I quit drinking. Like one day I was like, I'm starting November 1st. And then I just didn't drink.
Yeah, good for you,
that.
by the way.
And that's how it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like it's easy, guys. Why don't you just do that?
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
You know why you don't do that?
It's because you're an honorless, lying little turd.
If you still drink.
It's because I do other drugs.
I'm just not.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're all California sober, the two of us, at least.
I'm an alcohol.
That's for sure.
Coconut water.
That's fine too. Yeah, she's a
That's
raging.
What,
what
are you drinking right now?
Just
Vietnamese Everclear. It's
cup
called
of
hockey water, actually.
Vietnamese Everclear.
I don't think that's.
Yeah.
Well, the Vietnamese Everclear but this is just coconut water.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I was talking to.
Mm-hmm.
I was just telling someone about my time in Mexico back when we were 18, 19 and stuff, and drinking the straight like grain alcohol that we buy at the liquor store when we got our rum and tequila. And it was so hardcore. And then even talking to the kid that was serving us tacos and drinks and stuff. We were talking to him later. He's like, "Yeah, what have you guys been doing? You're having fun drinking. He's not 21. We're in Mexico. This and that. I've been drinking all day, every day for like a week." And it's like, "Yeah, no, we've been drinking this stuff. It's great." And he's like, "You drink that?" The way that he's like, "Oh no,
it's for cleaning.
Abuelitas use that to rub on things, or something." We're like, "Nah, we drink it. We should." It's like, hey, it was on the shelf next to the Bacardi, and it was cheap. So you could tell it tastes just like Zach's moonshine, except worse. So it was brutal.
Yikes.
But the things I used to do, to get a buzz.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it was the other night, I just decided, you know what? It'll be one of those nights. I'm just going to up the microdose. It'll be kind of a nice night. Everything kind of was nice and shiny and bright, and I laughed a little harder than usual at the Come Town podcast, and that was a good night, just a little psilocybin, or however you pronounce it, psilocybin.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I just remember I told someone too, I was like, man, I just didn't even realize I left my earbud in and it was just playing, and the shrooms kind of kicked in and everything was kind of nice, and then suddenly I just cuts in. I hear Nick Mullen saying, he says, "Give me $18 million and I will restage 9/11 as part of a marketing campaign," or something. And I just couldn't stop laughing. It was just the funniest thing I'd heard in forever, in that moment. I was like, that's better than when I would drink a bunch of Jameson and just say things that I regret to people constantly. So that's a little better.
I don't think people
Friday night for me.
Usually drink alcohol to
it's usually to shut the
know
voices
themselves
out
better, or to
I would do it
think
to get
more
to know other
clearly.
people
I
better.
think but you don't. That's the thing about people.
Yeah.
Exactly. People like to think that
That's a sweet
alcohol.
spot.
I think 2 drinks, right there at a buzz. That's really nice. You're still like cognizant.
Mm-hmm.
Anything after that, no matter who you are, even if you're like an alcoholic or whatever, you've got like some quote unquote high tolerance, your brain can only take so much. Like once you start getting past buzzed, you're dumber. And that's a fact. Like your brain doesn't work. You're not able to have like an sort of like an epiphany that's going to be like helpful to you, or critically think. It's going to be incredibly like small-minded. It's going to be really narrow. It's going to be really, it's just going to be not like opening you up to something. It's going to be like more of just like this small, dull focused thing.
That's why people
Mushrooms,
drink
some of these
to
other
numb,
things.
It's to do the opposite.
Yeah,
it's to not have an epiphany about anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah. It's like these other things are really like you can really get things on a bigger level. Drunk people, man, I mean, whatever, I like to party. I party with people who drink and all that kind of stuff. And I've been there. I've been very drunk before in my life, a lot. But
my God,
people are really fucking stupid and annoying when they're drunk, and they're just like talking and repeating themselves and repeating themselves and repeating themselves.
It's like too. It's the repetition, man. When I first quit drinking,
already,
it's like somehow I'm even more
there you go.
suicide right now. I was like, because I'm hanging around you guys at the bar.
I already
I'm
have to
waiting
repeat
give
myself
my
several
wife a ride
times
home. I was like,
anytime I'm in
I
a
don't want to be
conversation.
here.
Like, I don't need
in
to do that
general,
while I'm been
like
drinking
here,
too, you know?
this stinks. Oh yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
That's much. As soon as I would hear a certain kind of repetition, I'd be
Time
like,
to go.
she's drunk. I'd be like, oh great, she's drunk. We gotta go home. Yeah, it's like you learn to key in on exactly what it's
Anyway,
like. It's really funny.
Boring.
Yeah.
It's just really boring.
But speaking of,
That's why.
I would be in the sweet spot and have 2 drinks before work. That's what I would do. You know.
I was gonna say that's why you just drink.
You get drink.
At home, and you don't get drunk. And you this is my segue. So that's why you get drink, and no, you drink at home. You get drink at home, and you have to buy that from where? From the store, right? So would you think, if you had to guess, Doug, if you were to buy your alcohol from Safeway or from Trader Joe's, which would be more expensive?
If I had to guess, I would guess Trader Joe's just because I've never shopped there in my life. So
Same, yeah. That's what it has, like this air of, like, you know, it's like organic
I thought
foods.
it was like the nice, is it like Whole
Berto's
Foods
in here. Yeah, it's like, well, you see, so Danae was in town on Saturday and was like, "Let's go to Trader Joe's. Is there one close by?"
That was, and I don't
because
say this.
Oops, wrong one. No.
excuse me. So wanted to get some things before she left and all this kind of stuff. Let's go to Trader Joe's. It's like, oh yeah, okay. Well, let's go find one. We went there. We get there and we're like, start walking around. Umberto's like kind of like really like looking at stuff, like really kind of focused in. Danae and I are like kind of looking like, what should we get? Some snacks, some dinner, whatever. And then Umberto's like kind of walking around the store, just like kind of leaves and is walking around the store and comes back. And they're like, it's so cheap.
Really?
Here. These prices are like
Nice.
half the price of Safeway.
Oh.
And like we had
Safeway
gotten
is
some things
expensive, though,
and
yeah. It's true.
he was like, if this costs us less than $50, I'm gonna commit seppuku, right here in the store. Like I'm gonna commit ritual suicide if this
I
is
would
not.
say I'm going to eat
and I'm
my
like,
hat.
see,
That's not taking it far enough.
yeah, no, and it was our thing of a few items, whatever. I don't want to list them, or I can't remember anyways, but it was $22 and literally at Safeway it would have been
himself.
So I need to say
so Umberto,
also, like, I need to add context because you were supposed to
yeah, they're
I
dead
spent
now.
40.
But
So it depends on how you're shopping. How you're shopping matters. But agreed.
Together, that's over 50. So there you go. No.
but
yeah.
But eggs there. That's what one of our other friends like. If you go there when they still have eggs, because they run out almost every day or whatever, because they're like $4 a dozen.
Yeah.
So at Safeway they're like
$8
up
something.
7 and up.
Yeah.
So it was honestly, Umberto was really mad, like about being like just so disgusted by Safeway and Albertsons and
yeah.
How much and you know what that one, it's, I was about to say where it is. Well, it's in this kind of bad, whatever. It's can be kind of sketchy a little bit where the Safeway is here by our place, and there's a QFC also. You go to QFC after 9 o'clock. I think I've said it before.
Right? And you're talking about how,
yeah, that's going like to the jazz performance and stuff. After 9 at that QFC, there's always cops there. There's always people. Safeway, there's people shouting in the parking lot and stuff. Whatever. That is what it is. But it's like, that's where poor people live. They have to go, like all the way to Capitol Hill, like get over there, like in this different part of Seattle, blah, blah, blah. They don't. They live around this place, a lot of, they live around this Safeway and all this. That's where they shop. And it is so expensive. It is so incredibly expensive to shop there, and that's where the poor people live.
Instead of a food desert,
right?
It's like a gate-kept food oasis where it's like, no, this is what you have here.
So
it's the opposite. It's like, this isn't a food desert.
Yeah, when I started shopping at Trader Joe's,
Whole Foods
back when I lived
prices
in
for
Redding,
not Whole Foods
California,
stuff.
and it was about 10 years ago, so it's definitely changed definitely. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, it is like the Tri-Cities.
I've been there.
It's definitely changed, but
Reminds
there
me of
is
Tri-Cities.
a brand of wine there called Charles Schwab or Shaw, not Schwab, and it used Charles Shaw, and it was called
Charles
$2
Schwab
Chuck
wine.
because you could get a
It's
bottle of
$1,000 a bottle.
$2.49. It's like usually like $4 now for that bottle.
Oh, yep.
So $4
$2
Chuck, but
Chuck.
like when you're like, oh, is it more expensive? Yeah, no, it's so much cheaper to get your liquor and everything at
$2
Trader
Chuck.
Joe's.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. $2 Chuck.
Yeah,
That's
I
funny. I haven't
mean-
heard that in a long time. I think our mom
But
has told me about
yeah.
that or something. Get
Yeah,
a
no,
bottle of $2 Chuck.
We didn't even
I'm
look
a
at
Trader Joe's.
the alcohol prices, honestly, because we don't drink. But
Yeah.
everything else that we were looking at.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well, over here, wine's cheap.
Yeah.
You get good wine for cheap because we live in
And
a wine
we were
heartland.
saying-
We live in the second largest viticultural area next to the Napa Valley. So
why there's
whatever.
no Trader Joe's in your area is because there aren't enough college degrees. They only go in places where the population
Yeah.
has a really high
So-
rate of people.
Something.
Like
Not
their,
even
So people have been
their
actually
people
like,
are
yeah, you would
It's
think.
interesting.
college degree having folks.
I,
You'd
and
think
I
Richland
so
would be
I don't
really
know
high with
I don't know
that
how
'cause of-
accurate that is
'cause of
Nat,
the
because I've
demographic
never
there.
I hadn't heard that until
But-
you had said that the other day. I will say that people have been campaigning for a Trader Joe's in the Tri-Cities area for a while now. Because there's one in Spokane, and so people have been like, hey, like obviously like your transit routes could support like having a
Mhm.
Trader Joe's here, but they've basically like said on multiple occasions like, no, we can't, there's no way, like
Mhm.
it's like too out of the way for us to do that. But maybe it is like actually like the demographic thing that and they're just not saying that out loud.
Mm. I
They're
wonder.
adding
Well, let's see.
that
They got
too.
it in
But-
Yeah,
Seattle,
100%. I was
Winco.
saying that to Nat as well. I was
Bellingham.
like,
If
dude,
we just
you
had
guys
more
go to Winco,
Wincos,
that's
it would
the
solve a
cheapest
lot.
place to shop,
Winco's
and it's
good.
employee owned. I love Winco so much. And they don't take credit cards, which is really interesting to me.
Mhm.
But
Employee owned,
yeah, no,
and it's all over
that
the
Winco,
place.
you have to pay with debit or
Yeah.
cash or EBT.
They don't take credit
No.
cards?
You have to have a debit card or cash.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dad would be pissed. He doesn't have a.
Yeah,
He doesn't
I'd
own
gone
a
in.
credit
There'd
card.
been a few times.
Or I mean a debit
I would
card.
shop there all
I
the
had-
time,
I've
and
done
every
that
once in a while I'd be
too,
like,
yeah.
"Shoot, all I have is a credit card right now, and I have all this stuff." It's like, damn it!
Yeah,
Yeah.
credit card fees are crazy. So
But yeah, it's an
That's
interesting
nice.
cost-cutting thing or something like that. Is
I
that
think
they
there's
just don't
mo-
do merchant services with credit cards.
yeah, I think it's more
Debit card
though,
fees
for
they
credit
charge
Yeah.
too.
or something.
But whatever,
But-
They're
merchant
still
services
Visa
as well.
cards. Mm-hmm.
Well, the place that I went today, and the Inane Blather podcast is now brought to you by Clearly
Nice.
Canadian.
I like Yokes.
I went to Yokes,
Nice.
which is like our Whole Foods.
I love
Mhm.
Yokes.
Yeah.
They have. I always like them because they're just a straight up grocery store too. I like a grocery store that doesn't have like a lot of extra. That's not very like big. Like it's like
Walmart.
maybe a little bit more limited selection, but it's like
They have
just
everything
like
you need.
groceries.
Mhm.
Yeah, specific
Are they-
items.
is
Yokes
that a
has the
Kroger
best.
brand?
They have the best.
Oh,
the
jeez.
meat, the
Or
deli
no?
and stuff like that. The olives. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Rob used to bring me.
Oh, it's
No.
it's local.
They're like
employee-owned.
only in
No. Okay.
like that part of. They're like only like in Washington. I don't think that they're. Yeah, it's. I think Yokes is maybe the family name, and I know that because
Excuse me.
I told that to our niece one time when she was really little. She was like,
Based in
she's like,
Spokane.
what is it called? She's like, is it called Yolks because they sell eggs there?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I think it's the last name.
Mhm.
Like they
You're right.
sometimes name things after people's last name. And she was like, oh, like Target. And I was like, no.
Yep. This is by John
She was,
Target
like, really
back in
little.
1946.
It was just so cute. It just
That
made
is
me laugh.
cute. Yeah, let's see.
Stuck out.
The
Yeah.
chain was established by their son Chuck, aka $2 Chuck. No,
Yolks? Yeah.
Chuck in the 1960s. They only have 19 stores, Washington, Idaho, and Montana, primarily in
Good for him.
Spokane.
Yes, yeah.
And in 1990, Chuck sold the chain to the employees. So, and
They
now
have
they've
a very
expanded
similar
into the
vibe
southeastern
to like
portion of
Freddy's,
Washington.
And their stores are always
past
when I've
clean,
been in there, I'm like,
too.
okay, like
and
this really
Richland.
reminds me of like a nice Fred Meyer, or the grocery sections anyway. Yeah,
It reminded me of Top
the Kroger
Foods,
brands.
where I went in Olympia, which
Mm.
I liked because I was
Yeah.
like, "What? There's like you can
Hell
like try
yeah.
this cheese at like the cheese section and stuff." Like, yeah, you want a sample? I'm like,
Mhm.
what? Yeah, what kind of
Really
grocery
nice
store
cheese.
is this, dude?
They have a really good
Yeah.
bakery. We've gotten stuff at Yolks for like weddings and stuff. They like from their deli and all that kind of stuff. They have some really
Dubliner
good,
dip.
like, I mean, expensive. That Dubliner dip, that stuff is crazy. It's
The thing is,
crazy.
though,
Really good, like fancy kind of expensive stuff like that too. The wine selection,
Oh,
excellent
yeah.
at Yolks. The meat, I would always go get steaks there, like if it was special for our dad or whatever. They had like the best cuts. It just was, and it's like cute, clean, and like farm aesthetic. It was like,
but the thing
cute,
is with
like
those
rural.
stores,
I like Yolks.
because then you just assume. Because I was like, well, I can't afford to just shop at Yolks all the time, even if it's better or something. But it's like, yeah, then you compare it to
Yeah.
something like Safeway, which is just like your
Safeway?
go-to chain store, or Fred Meyer, all the
Yeah.
same shit, and it's like, oh no, Yolks is cheaper too. It's nicer and it's cheaper. I go there, just look for a sale, and suddenly I'm like, wow, I got better deals on buying meat and some produce than at Walmart.
also,
and I didn't have to
like,
go to
Walmart never
Walmart.
does
It's like
coupons or anything,
it just depends
like,
on how you're shopping. Like
Walmart
like
sucks.
Danae was saying,
Yeah,
no. You just have whatever's
supposed to
on
just
sale is
have
what's
low
on sale.
prices.
Yeah. But even and I discovered today, because I went to Yolks today. And got this clearly Canadian mountain blackberry. So good. So good. So
Clearly Canadian, so good.
And notice that their generic brand for a lot of stuff is the same as the generic brand at the small town grocery in the town in which I live. I'm like, oh, it's the same. It's like a Top Choice or whatever the branding is. It's like, oh, I recognize that's what they have there. It's just cheaper here. It's like actually, it's actually a little cheaper than other stuff because it's a generic brand. Whereas in the small town grocery, where it's one of those, it's like a gate-kept oasis because you live in a small town. You have one normal grocery store and you have a fucking Dollar General down the road that they built right across the street from the major trailer park that's there. They even have
Dollar
their
General.
own. They even have their own
Major trailer park.
General Dollar.
major trailer park, minor nuisance.
Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah. Dollar General.
at the major trailer park.
Yeah, but they even have now. Well, I mean, it's good because they reduce some stuff, but there are people crossing the street right there now. That there's a crosswalk there and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, because that's what Dollar General does. They just insert themselves into what could be close to a food desert where people are having a tough time. People in my town would just go to Walmart 12 miles away, because the normal grocery store, that's the local place where you should be getting your stuff, is too expensive to just shop at normally. Even if you're on EBT, it's like you only get so much. You're going to use up all your stuff on all of everything that's not produce and meat, which any grocery store can just get you the best deal that they can if they're not Safeway, they get them from there. They have their suppliers. You get produce cheap, for whatever's in season, and they're getting from the right people. But everything else on the shelf, you're going there, you're going to get toilet paper, you're going to get some, you're going to get, some salsa and condiments, you're going to get some cereal. Good Lord.
To take this to
you might as
the
well take out a
political,
fucking loan.
because that's
It's like,
what we like to do
what
here.
are you trying to do with these people?
I'm assuming you guys have read up a little bit on the guy that's running for mayor in New York, where he's one of his things on his platform is that I am so stoked for this. I really hope it happens. That he wants to.
I was hoping you were going to bring that up.
Socialize the grocery stores, basically. city-owned grocery stores. And I'm like, that is such a great idea. Because, like,
City-owned
even, like,
grocery
with the way he
store.
has it set up, like, it's going to save money in their budget. Which I was like, that's crazy.
And... Oh, yeah. It helps the people. That's the thing, is that I remember hearing about this. I forget. Well, that's the thing. It's like, well, it looks good in theory. It's like, it works well in reality. It's been done. It's been done in America. It's been done in other cities where they're like failing these people and stuff, and it helps. It saves money. It's good for the city. It's good for the people, and people still
Propaganda.
hate it because it's fucking
Hell of a
communism. You know, and it's
Hell of a
like,
drug.
what do you want? What is your goal here? It's like, do you want
We don't want children to have food.
get food or not? Or do you want just this?
Yeah.
Because you don't have a share in the grocery store.
There's a reason why
child to get a
there's
job.
a reason why children
That's what
They
have
want them to have
debt.
a
want children
minimum
to get
wage job
jobs and
at
have
that
to
grocery
pay for it
store.
themselves.
You know, like, we don't want to feed children. We would rather them starve. So.
Yeah, there is something like that. Because, here's from context from Reuters. Because I heard this maybe on NPR, maybe on Planet Money or something a couple years ago. And I think it was in Chicago. And at least one of these says U.S. cities from Chicago to Tulsa test whether municipal stores can deliver food equity. Let's see, across the country, 76 counties lack a grocery store. If you didn't have a grocery store in your county, and it's like, at rural groceries are at particular risk as demographics shift. Let's see, with the demise of thousands of grocery shops, and that can all go back to, gee whiz, I wonder why. It's things like fucking Kroger. Natalie, calm down, Natalie. Kroger.
Like,
Antitrust alert. Antitrust alert. Yeah. But it's like, of course, all these mom and pop shops go out of business. That's what happens. Walmart, Kroger. Good God.
Maybe picking me up, I can't remember. But we were talking about how nice it would be to, like, have that universal, like, food stipend. And for, like, anything. Like, you can go to a restaurant and use it. You can use it at grocery stores, whatever. Because it would, like, also, like, support, like, the small businesses, like, the small restaurants and stuff. Like, people would go out to eat more. Like, there would be, like, it would just, like, absolutely, like, pump up local economies. Yes. Yes, 100%. So, like, it would be so awesome if we could, like, do that.
Because it's business.
Crazy.
Yeah. So let's see.
Yeah, and like, is it so radical to want people to have food to eat? And the answer, yes, it is. Because, you know, good ideas like this, you can go on and on, and it's just so frustrating where it's like, yeah, these things do work in practice. On a different topic, we won't stray too far, but, you know, that's like on a different subject where you see people doing things differently, like in regards to police brutality and police things like that, where you see, taking a different approach and like, like not having them militarized and blah, blah, blah. And there's been different cities that have approached it. Their police violence rates went way down, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's tried and true, but it sounds too like hippy dippy and all this kind of bullshit is associated and around it. So it's like, if you go any larger than just like a community, pretty much like, you know, something that maybe it kind of made like a national news a little bit, but you know, it's not being talked about by like Congress. God, no fucking way.
Especially right
now.
now.
It can only stay, it just stays kind of small, and it doesn't really gain much ground because it immediately, if you get any larger than kind of like a city level, then there's immediate backlash from places like, I mean, especially with like Heritage Money Foundation money. Sorry, Heritage Foundation money.
I was like, which one's that one?
But you know, I mean, also Democrats don't necessarily want to help
Yeah.
out either. You know, 'cause
They
they're
own,
like,
they
"Who's
own
gonna cut
shares in
into my
Kroger
profit
too,
margins?"
just like the rest of
Yeah,
them. Well, it's like
exactly.
this economic security project working with the city of Chicago on a feasibility study. It says, quote, the goal is to increase life expectancy, reduce poverty. That's a return. Make
Yay.
workers
Yeah.
more productive because they have access to fresh food. So even if you frame
When
it
they
in like this
eat.
total capitalist
Yes.
hellscape, it's like, hey,
Less
people
sick
are better
days.
off when they have fresh food. But instead,
Like,
the
less
response
sick
is,
days,
I hope you get ass cancer
literally just
and
more
die, you
productive
son of a
because
bitch.
they're not thinking about the fact
Yeah.
that they're hungry. Like they don't have to like
Mhm.
they don't. Yeah, they don't have to take as long
Gee whiz,
at
people are
lunch
happier.
probably because they'll be able to just
Relationships,
like
better
bring food to work
Yeah.
and have their lunch break at work,
Mhm.
whatever. Like there's like so many benefits to being able to do that.
With their coworkers, increase community.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like right after this, critics call such a project wasteful, with one libertarian
Jesus.
think tank saying it amounts to, quote, subsidized dysfunction. And that's the
I
foundation
think we
for
need to-
economic
mean.
education.
Freedom.
Fee.
Oh,
Oh
Ugh.
Of course they
boy.
did.
The National
I think we need to
Grocers
use,
Association.
once again, I'm going
declined
to
to
continue
comment.
to advocate that
Of
we
course
start
they
using
did.
religious
They're
propaganda for
joke.
the left because,
You're cutting out. Can you repeat that?
Your mic is clipping.
wow.
I'm cutting out.
I think it's probably
I
recording
am
you just
so
fine, but we
right.
couldn't hear you.
Yeah. Hard to react. Like, you're so right, Danae. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Let's see, where
in Kansas.
It goes back to the
Wow.
propaganda that we need to use as
Well,
left.
because like
Kansas?
Jesus
Oh,
fed
yeah,
the poor,
yeah.
500
Fight
fish or
with some
whatever.
agitprop,
I know,
fight
right?
with
Like I'm
propaganda.
obsessed. I'm obsessed.
You
With
and Jesus.
Jesus.
God.
But like I want to use that.
I know.
I want to say like, hey, like, you guys want to be all Christian and stuff? Okay, let's talk about feeding the poor. Like, absolutely.
Mhm.
Let's just feed the poor. Let's just feed everyone. No, not even teach it. No, it's not. But like
teach a man to fish.
Jesus
isn't
feeding
that
the
one of the verses?
Jesus
No.
feeding the 500 or whatever, like
like,
taking
no, I
the
think that's
fish,
just a
multiplying
saying.
the loaves of bread, whatever, all of that. Like, that wasn't even the poor. That was just people showing up and
Mhm.
listening to him, right? What I'm asking for is for free
So you're-
handouts.
So you're asking for a miracle, is what you're saying.
Essentially.
Imagine
Free socialist handouts.
Imagine
paid for
if
with
there
George
was literally
Soros
like
money.
a food credit
Okay?
for every
It's
single family.
simple.
Like,
I am
once a
actually
month.
asking
Like,
for
it was just
that.
like one specific credit, even just to like have their family like go out to eat and they can use it however they want to, and like the government just like pays like whatever restaurant and stuff. That'd be so crazy.
Like an expansion of the child tax credit. Mm-hmm. That lifted thousands of people out of poverty.
Especially
You know, it says
because it's
Yes,
like stuff is
100%.
subsidized and it's the billionaires
I know.
who are subsidized.
Ooh,
It's
we
like
were
the
just
government
talking
does
about that
subsidize
today at
things. They
lunch.
do subsidize
Mhm.
things. They
Yeah.
do that
It's like,
already.
why do you think we have a
And
bunch
it's
of
like, why
corn
can't we be the
syrup in our
ones?
fucking food instead of sugar? Because of subsidies. We were just talking about that at lunch today. And, well, yeah, but not, instead of
Well,
cane sugar. But it's like it's so funny because the two things that we were talking about, I was just going to say at lunch today, even we talked about that, and for some reason, Dad was
The Holy
quoting
Spirit.
Bible verses today. Like, what's with you, Danae? You're just getting this out there into the world. No, it was really funny.
Why was he quoting
No, it was
Bible
kind of funny. I
verses?
don't know. He's really into this Bible shit lately. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we went to a place. There's so much. It's all very Christian oriented stuff at this Mexican place. Fantastic food. It's like the best
Texas,
place in the town in which I live. But
Yeah,
but yeah, and so I think maybe that had struck it because it kind of seemed out of nowhere. But he was like, "Oh, here it is. It's Matthew, blah blah blah." He's like, "This is the one that actually says the golden rule," and he was like, "That's what he's all about." He was like, and he did the whole lead in, and then to do unto others as you'd have done to you. and then the thing after that, and then and it's it's an interesting, especially reading like the King James version. I'm like, gosh, so wordy, but all for that little nugget in there. But and then it's funny. It's like, and then after that, it's something about false prophets and sheep's clothing and whatever. But beware of false prophets.
That's not prescient.
Yeah. It's like something. It's like Trump, whatever. It's just really kind of explaining the things that happen in society. They were talking about that 2,000 years ago. No big deal. But good old Jesus, he kind of knew. He knew some things. But it says for these grocery stores in Kansas alone, 1 in 5 rural grocery stores closed in the decade to 2018.
That's 20%.
That is crazy. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. Matching the national ratio. You've heard examples of grocery stores closing, and the schools have a hard time staying open or other critical infrastructure being impacted, and they go hand in hand, she says. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. People are talking about it. This isn't really the article I was looking for. Oh, go deeper. Wow. And then the first example at the end of this article says go deeper. There's another article. Crime magnets, food deserts, U.S. dollar stores in the dock. And it's a big picture of a Dollar General. Dollar fucking General.
They are dollar
the
stores
harbinger of capitalist doom. They're the worst.
I have never seen more dollar stores than when I was living and working in North and South Carolina.
Oh,
they are everywhere in the South. They're everywhere. People shop there. Like, that was like kind of a new experience for me. Not like I've never been to a dollar store, but not very often. There wasn't one in the town we grew up in. I never really thought about it except for like randomly, like maybe that would be something like the dollar store would have, like a
Dollar Generals
for cheap or something.
But Dollar Generals are just like a like kind of a grocery store, more on the lines along the lines of like a convenience store. It's not even that cheap all the time, but they have
it's really cheap.
What?
They have.
Like Dollar Tree.
I was going to say, down south, they have dollar stores, Dollar General, and another one. There's like 3 different of these same kind of Dollar Tree. Mm-hmm. There might even be a 4th one that you would see them like here, almost right.
Oh, man.
Almost like next door to each other. Like some of these, they were just like so prevalent because you're like,
the market.
Well, it was in like very rural areas where I just noticed it being down there. It was like, damn. But people talk about grocery shopping there.
And they get people.
Or I'm like,
and it's so like almost insidious because then it's like they supply enough food, but they don't carry fresh food. There's no fresh produce, nothing like that. There's frozen foods. There's some dairy.
John Oliver might have done the documentary on the Dollar General.
John Oliver?
There's a couple that have,
it was John Oliver, right?
Been out though.
There's a story about
and they're
Dollar
it's
General?
really crazy. They have wild business practices.
Brutal.
They also have like. They also just like.
People just leaving. That happened
no one's there.
At the one in my small town.
Often,
you
there's
go up
often
and
like
there's
very
just like
severely understaffed,
no one was there.
And like there's been like a lot of instances, and they had like a class action against them because they wouldn't update their prices on their items. So like something would be on sale on like the national level, but like the barcode wasn't changed or something. So they were like overcharging people. Based on whether or not they had staff to like make inventory adjustments and stuff.
Jeez.
Exactly. And also like they might say like one price like on the shelf and then like one price at the checkout, and it could be either cheaper or more expensive, like just depending on whatever item that was. And like it's basically just like false advertising at like scale. But yeah, I don't know.
True.
100%. Yeah.
And it shouldn't be on the consumer to be like, nope, look this up and change the price for me because it's on your website, whatever. It's like, no, just do your, like, this is a store.
Hell no.
This is a national
Pay me to do that. That's your literal fucking job.
And also, they're so understaffed, you can't be like yelling at the person there. It's like, What are they gonna do? Yeah, they have
That's
like one
your
person.
job, owner of Dollar General.
There's like one person working there for minimum wage while there's rats crawling around in the back and a room full of boxes stacked up to the ceiling that they don't know what to do with because no one's ever there working.
Well, I also want to say, just back to Safeway really quick.
Never heard
a
of
little
it.
tip for everybody, because we did find this out. That Safeway that I usually go to, they have started checking receipts at the door. But you don't have
just
to
walk
show
past
them. That's what exactly. I didn't like. It's like literally like your constitutional right to not show
Really?
them. That's like your Fourth Amendment is protecting you from an
man,
unreasonable
imagine being
search.
that guy,
They can
though.
only like force you. They can only force you if they're literally like, no, like we have you on camera
You're a
to
member.
like catching you or something like that. You have to show at Costco. You have to show at Costco because
it's
of
a
your
membership
membership. That's
club.
a rule of your membership.
Or even your
so
bags.
anybody you trying to steal
they
from
can't
any
check your
store
bags, they can't,
and they try to
can't
check your
search
receipt
you.
at the door, you
can just keep
walk
walking.
past them and you say no thanks. Yeah. They can't.
What I like,
They can't look because it's your stuff. Like they have to like catch you. You can just like and the one at the Safeway, Umberto and I think they're just looking to see that you have a receipt from this day.
Yeah.
Like the guys just like look at it. They don't even look in your bag or anything because again, I don't think they're allowed
I walk
to.
out of Walmart and show
like,
them my receipt and walk out with stuff that's not on the receipt.
You just like hand them
I'm like,
thanks.
here you
yeah.
go. And I just wait. They're like, all right, thank you. I'm like, thank you. No, or
And
Walmart. What I always
you
say
don't have
is
to
that
show
you
them,
just
yeah.
you just go out behind someone else because then they're gonna check their receipt, and while they're checking that, you just walk past them because then it's like whatever. I'm not gonna wait. It's like what?
Umberto and I just said no thanks and just kept walking.
No thanks. Have a nice day. No, that's okay.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
A nightcap?
Thanks.
No, thanks. I don't wear them. But this article that was related, so it started talking about Dollar General. It was related because it said in last February, Chicago, again, became the largest city yet to seek to limit the retailers, to limit the number of Dollar Generals. Officials deciding that although the stores fulfill a need for families in areas lacking basic retail services, they were also a cause of economic distress. So supporters say the so-called small box retailers offer that's what they are, small box retailer.
Well, it's
right?
it's a small
because it's not a grocery store.
It's
not
a
big
small
box
grocery store that doesn't
it's
have
like
the
it's
other
not a
stuff that a big
convenience
box
store.
does, like
it's just a big convenience store.
appliances and clothing and like all of the other things that you can get like at Walmart or like a Fred Meyer. I think Dollar General does have produce.
But I mean,
don't
are they
think
a grocery
that
store if
Dollar
they don't
Tree
have
does, though.
produce? Like they don't.
Okay. Okay.
Dollar General doesn't have produce. At least not anyone that I've seen. It says supporters say they offer a lifeline to low-income families. Let's see. The Chicago measures are just the latest in around 130 restrictions imposed on dollar store expansion in recent years. Places have ordered moratoriums on expansion. Yeah, I've heard of that. The whole thing has exploded, said Kennedy Smith, a senior researcher with the Institute for Local Self-Reliance, the ILSR, which published a report on the, quote, dollar store invasion last year. Ooh, now I'm looking at a report here. Communities are in revolt, but the chain's predatory tactics also demand federal action. Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and Family Dollar. That's another big one. Family Dollar are targeting vulnerable communities, opening stores at a breakneck pace in urban and rural areas alike. It's tempting to assume that these chains simply fill a need in cash-strapped places, but the evidence suggests that dollar stores are not merely byproducts of economic distress, they are a cause of it. Through predatory tactics, the dollar chains are killing off grocery stores and other local businesses, leaving communities with fewer jobs. Yeah, right? It's like if you kick out one of these other retailers, then you're replacing with a place that understaffs. It's like jobs just disappear. It's like fewer jobs. Oh yeah, no more Potter Drug.
Supermarket.
There was a little store, That's where you'd go get a pair of sandals and a greeting card and pick up your prescription. But oh wow. Fewer jobs, diminished access to basic goods, and dimmer prospects for overall well-being. They're facing a rising tide of grassroots opposition over the last couple of years. Scores of cities and towns have blocked the chains from opening new stores. Local action alone is not enough, however. Federal policymakers also need to address the ways in which misguided policies, particularly those governing antitrust and finance, are fueling the destructive proliferation of dollar stores. And it's like, great, cool, good thing that you did that, during the Biden admin. I'm sure that the federal government will do something about it now.
And that brings us back to that moron saying that we're subsidizing whatever
subsidized
the fucking
dysfunction.
word he said about, like,
yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's like,
what do you mean?
This is the way to go instead. Let's just have, unregulated, bloodthirsty capitalism sweeping through our small towns, the heart of America, the actual real Americans, with no government support, no nothing, and just, let these people slowly starve to death with bad nutrition, leading to heart disease and cancer and blah 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 blah.
Oh, well,
all
they
of this
don't
shit
have a
in
job
these small towns because you're like, why? Yeah, and like killing themselves and getting addicted to drugs and all that kind of stuff. Because you're like, why would we want to socialize this? Why would we want to have the city, like make sure that everybody can have food and that there's a grocery store that's staffed and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds ridiculous. We should just let the
you get
dollar
ass
store
cancer and die, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. They say, you want to shop for groceries and fresh produce?
Go kill yourself. Go sit in the middle of the road and let a car run over you.
Just don't do it in front of my house or my Dollar General that I own a share in. Let's see. Wow, they also had a report from 4 years before that. Dollar stores are targeting struggling neighborhoods and small towns. One community is showing how to fight back. Oh, I want to read that report too. But let's see.
Add it
here.
to the show notes.
Wow. The numbers, the planned stores and number of dollar stores opening up. Okay, that's a good idea.
Exploded.
Just rising. It's just exploding. This whole area is just exploding. But let's see. Yeah, since 2018, at least 54 cities and towns have enacted laws that sharply restrict new dollar stores. Man, and they're so ugly. I just look at this Dollar Tree.
They all look the
just
same,
like the one in Kennewick. Is that the one in Kennewick? It's like it's because they just all look the same. Let's see. So in March 2022, residents of the Collinwood neighborhood on Cleveland's northeast side learned that the area's only grocery store, Dave's Market, would be closing after more than 30 years in business. The store was part of a small, locally owned chain of supermarkets founded in the late 1920s and run over the decades by 5 generations of the Saltzman family. With about a dozen locations today, Dave's Market is a staple of life in many Cleveland neighborhoods, and the news of their store closing was met with an outpouring of grief and worry from neighbors, especially older residents of several nearby high-rises who are unable to drive or cannot afford a car. It's the Saltzmans explained. Let's see. It was beloved, the only source of fresh produce and meat in the neighborhood, but it had struggled to stay in the black. There were multiple reasons for this, the Saltzmans explained, but one factor was the influx of dollar stores. Within 2 miles, there are 7 Family Dollar and Dollar General outlets. But by saturating the neighborhood with stores that carry some of the same packaged foods like chips, cereal, and cake mix found at Dave's, the dollar chain siphoned off enough of the grocery store's sales to leave it struggling to stay afloat. And it's a pattern that the two chains have repeated across the country. That's what sucks. It's like, so they offer some of the same stuff, they offer it cheaper, and they put it right next to these places that need, access to like something close by, something walkable, something on a bus route and stuff. Even if it's just the same price, they just get it right in the right spot. It puts the grocery store out of business. Suddenly they get all the business and they don't have all the stuff. They don't have fresh produce. They don't have enough staff.
Yeah.
They don't have the jobs there. And
Yeah.
the
And
money
they're, like, paying,
doesn't
like,
stay in the
minimum
local
wage at
community.
most and, like,
It's a
barely
huge
hire- like, employing
corporation.
anyone, and yeah,
it's
that makes
disgusting.
perfect sense why that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at this point, even
That is
Walmart
crazy.
is more welcome than these places. It's like, which is crazy to say, but it's like, but Walmart offers
Yeah. Well,
produce.
kind of
It
big
pays
time.
people over minimum wage, big time.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
we're
and
also
if it's
still subsidizing most of
well, I mean, if you're
Walmart's
outside of
employees
Washington,
on food
yeah.
stamps and stuff.
But yeah, exactly. But that's
Also-
the same as like just doing it for just a few people getting
Yeah.
no nutrition.
Also,
at
Walmart
a Dollar
does not
General,
give
and it's
discounts
still
on
just going up
groceries
to some
for their
corporate
employees.
overlord no matter what. It's like, good lord.
Just saying. It's such bullshit. I'm like, are
That's
you kidding
true.
me?
That's true. I worked for Walmart. I didn't even think about that. Oh yeah, I hated
Yeah.
going and being like, shit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm
That's
gonna
crazy.
They don't
buy
even
something
and
from
they
the
don't even
store
like
so
give
I
you
can
like
eat it on my
like a
lunch break in
stipend
my
for like
car
if
because I
you
don't
go
want
work
to hang out
at
with these
any
people.
fast food place, at least you know that you're gonna have a meal that day. Like you will get a free meal at least, usually.
Mm-mm.
In most, at least, or like at 50% off or something.
Yeah.
But like for the most
That's a
part,
good
you
point.
will
Or at
either be
least
able
a
to like,
discount.
snack
And
on
when you're
something that
working-
was like a mistake. You'll get a free meal, or like you will have a heavily discounted meal. You don't even get that at Walmart. That's stupid.
Mm-hmm. And I worked in
Fresh food, produce,
what would they
Deli.
call it? Fresh something. I worked with the food. I worked with food at Walmart. I started in the deli. Yeah, I worked in the deli, and then I worked produce the whole time I was there. And yeah, for one thing, you're not getting anything for free. And then you have to think
So
about that
stupid.
while you throw out just hundreds of pounds of food all the time. You have to take it out to the back. There's different sorted ones for different types of produce and these types of foods and the baked goods and this and that, and you're throwing them away, and it's all going in like this big lines of these garbage cans behind a locked gate out back behind Walmart.
And
it is
that should be
horrifying.
going to,
It is crazy.
and that should be going to the
There were a
local
couple
food
times
bank
where
at
it was
the
just
very
like, well,
least.
this
At
was
the
a mistake.
very
If you
least,
worked
that
in the
should be going to the
deli,
food bank.
you could get away from
They do
with
send
it.
some stuff to the food banks in like in Othello for
Yeah,
sure.
but they won't.
I think it depends on where you
Won't
live.
do it.
But like
Nope.
anyway.
That's good.
Trader Joe's
And
Trader
there's
Joe's
literally
sends all of their
zero
stuff to food
reason
banks.
why they can't do that. It literally, and I know John Oliver did back in the day
They have
There's
to be
nothing
close to
about
one.
expiration dates, anything like that. Like literally, they're like, we'll come pick it up, and they just won't. They're like the
Yeah,
liability
there's
or
no
whatever.
liability.
It's not true.
Yeah.
All of that, it's total bullshit. They hate poor people and literally want them to starve. Like genuinely.
Oh yeah,
or
because if you
to
have
spend
more
every
food,
single
if you
dollar
have more
that
food
you
in
have
food banks, then you're not
coming
going to
to the
spend
store
money at Walmart
and
getting
spending
food.
it there. That's like
Like,
literally
if you have the food.
they
Yeah.
and they'd rather have
Yeah.
you starve
They're like, we want you
than
to
not
get your
spend your money at their
EBT
store. They're
and come back here,
disgusting.
where we make it easy for you to spend your EBT because you're going to have to use it at the self-checkout where we're only taking cards because everything else is closed down after like 8 p.m. or whatever it is, and you go and no one is working a cash register and no one takes cash, and it drives me crazy. But
Unless you're
I
Winco.
just saw
Always.
at least Winco they'll always
And they're
have
24
people
hours.
working the checkout if you want to have someone do it for you. But yes, that's true. 24 hours. I always liked that. Where I just saw today, just what we were talking about right here. It's a picture that someone posted. I'm not sure where they're working or whatever, but just a trash can full of like baked goods, pastries, donuts, full. Just a full trash can. And someone quoted it and said, well, Mothman fan _ Lord Draco II. I'll give him a shout out. But said, dipshits will tell you socialism means no food. Meanwhile, capitalism, look at this. You know, it's like, that's where you're profiting off of people eating. What do you expect is going to happen? Like, but, you know, socialism is when no car, socialism's when no food, you know, I don't know.
Everybody's telling us to stop doing what we're trying to do.
We're just trying to throw away food over here, okay? We love the sound. We love the sound of the food hitting the bottom of the garbage.
Speaking of no car, I was just thinking about on the bus ride.
So it goes on the barge.
From Moses Lake to Seattle over the weekend, and it's like a Greyhound or whatever. But like, anyway, it was random. It was just a bus that I thought was going to be nicer because I paid
Megabus.
I paid $80 to ride from Moses Lake to Seattle, 4-hour trip. First of all, I can't even imagine paying that much if I was like in like Europe or something taking a bus. Like even in like the richer countries, like yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's not even what it used to be here in America. It used to be like really cheap.
First of all, the bus was disgusting. And then, like, when I got to Seattle, I took the light rail to go meet Natalie, and I was just like, wow, this is so clean. And it cost me $3. And I was just like, wow, like, wouldn't it be... Wouldn't it be so nice?
Wait, those aren't free?
Yeah. I could have done that. I didn't know.
They're free,
but wouldn't it be
if you don't pay.
They just had buses available to us.
Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah,
definitely. And it is clean.
It depends on where you are, for sure. But like, I've never had like a
definitely not the same. I mean, whatever. There's all kinds of people
even,
in the city or whatever.
Like even when I was
just like
the time of night and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, even when I was living in the Bay Area,
tell you what, as someone who helps
taking
put
like
on
the
city
train,
projects,
like the BART from like Oakland to San Francisco, which is like
events,
one of like the most used. Like, and I haven't been on a subway in New York, so can't speak to that. But like. Even when I would take the BART, like it was somewhat like decently maintained, and I was never like, oh my god, this is disgusting, you know? Like it's just because it's privatized. The bus, just like I don't know, it's just like such a.
Oh yeah. So yeah, they start privatizing the trains in the UK, and it all goes to hell. They slowly privatize part of it. And then it all turns to shit. And they'd be like, look at how dysfunctional this is. We should privatize this. That's what's been happening in the UK. So then people can take over, make some money, and make it shittier. And it's like, and then, even if you get to blame the private owners, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What, you going to get a car? Well, you're going to ride it anyway. They say that...
Yeah.
They're like, you can't make us have a clean bus. That's our right as a business.
The free market.
Dirty and disgusting.
We have a right
and it's like,
well,
we don't have any other options, so...
What are you going to do?
Like,
you're going to get a car? Oh, you don't have one?
Yeah.
Well, it can be nasty.
Also, like, I was watching this video, I can't remember who it was, but it was a guy talking about Doge and how frustrated he was with, like, the whole idea about, like, the conversation of efficiency. And, like, how he's like, you want to talk about efficiency, but you don't want to talk about efficiency in what ways? Like, yeah, sure, it can be efficient in, like, cutting costs, okay? But, like, efficient to who? Exactly. Like, we can have, we can make things more efficient in a way that they actually work well.
Efficiency.
Rather than just being like, well, it's good for the budget. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, more efficiently serve the people. Yeah, more. It's like, how about efficiency in like, the postal service or something? It's like, no, it's not about cutting costs. It's about, let's say, efficiency is whatever measures it takes
hiring more
to
post
make
people.
Sure that everyone got mail quicker. Or
100%.
like something was guaranteed more. It's
investing
like,
in infrastructure, like making sure that the post office actually has working vehicles, that like they're delivering vehicles in air conditioned or heated, which they're There's neither of those usually. Yes, it is insane, especially because like we have like 100+ degree summers now, and so you have people that are literally driving around with just a little fan. A fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's so...
a fan, yeah, in an old converted Chevy
and they have to go
S10
slow because
with no
they're
air
gonna
conditioning and no
get
doors
heat stroke.
on it. Yeah, and it's like, and you know, with all this money for infrastructure, yeah, yeah, they can't even get the wind blowing in through there because they have to stop every 100 feet. But that's true. I was just telling Dad today. It's like, well, you know what? It's just about how we spend the money, because you take all the money that we spent on the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, and if we wanted to, we could have converted every interstate highway in the United States to high-speed rail. That's how much money we spent. You know, you take all the money spent on the Afghanistan war, we could send everyone in America to college for free for like the next 40 years or something like that. It's crazy.
Well, at least some rich people got richer,
and some brown people got deader.
That's what it's all about, you know. Got deader. So that's what it's all about. You know, really cemented. You know, the United States as a
deader.
Maybe we're not colonizers, but yeah. But we do like to kill brown people.
There.
We don't necessarily want to move to these places. We just kind of want to fuck them up, take their resources, kill their people, and stay over here.
And then create some shithole like Dubai.
So,
and create a fucking shopping mall in the desert. Yeah, it's like somehow worse than Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's like it's even more ostentatious and with less fun. Okay. Well, we should get going. To everyone out there,
I'll cut your throat. I'll come to your house and kill your children.
No. I was gonna say
I hate women. I think there's only one gender, man. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe.
our man Hassan.
And I guess we had a full-on conversation before the show, of course, but we were talking about misogynists, how to get them on the right track, blah blah blah. Hassan Piker, FD Signifier, those routes and stuff. And I said that Sophia watched a video with Hassan Piker today. I don't have the applause thing on my soundboard, but because of some video with an influencer that she watches. But and so it was, and I didn't even think about it, the first time that Sophia had seen the clip. So, of course, she inserted it in there. She's like, because Hassan talks politics, not me. And then just immediately, I think America deserved 9/11. I'm saying it. And Sophia was like, what?
Hell yeah.
I was like, yep, that's a classic. But,
What the fuck?
Whoa, yeah. But the other classic, of course.
I need to see a dick.
And that's what we'll end on. So, in other words,
Bitches leave.
Shout out to our listeners. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Discontent Provider.
Yes.
Who else? Shout out
Phoenix.
to Annabelle.
And also that person who
yes,
loves us on
that's
YouTube.
right.
We love you too.
Yeah, okay. I wonder,
we also
from
parasocially
Shout out
love
to
you.
Our Phoenician
Thanks for
listener.
joining us.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. So thank you very much. Very much thank you if you actually listen to the end of this video, because our average watch time on YouTube is about 1.5 minutes. So I appreciate it if you listen all the way through instead.
I really bring down that average. So
yeah, and I don't know how to look at these analytics. Like some of them say at the beginning, they're like, you know what? We have so many views, but only 40% are subscribed or something. And they say that. I think that's in the analytics somewhere. Whatever. You don't have to listen to us. Just go subscribe. It's kind of nice. I like seeing that number go up. It'd be pretty cool to get to 100 or something like that. We're close to 50. We can get there.
Thank you.
But either way. Have fun.
Next week I'll be calling
Vietnam.
in from another country too, so
and
don't be jealous.
We're jealous.
Just live vicariously through me. For now, I'll bring.
Well, I am. You can't tell me what to be.
I'll bring you guys with me next time. Okay.
Jealousy is heavily involved
Get
in
on
doing
those
something
passports.
like that. Maybe envy. I'm envious.
Hey.
Okay, that's different.
Shout out to
and everyone
ContraPoints.
watch the new ContraPoints video.
I got mine.
Too.
Love you.
Yeah.
And Aaron
Okay.
Brown.
Love you guys.
Okay, love you.
Alright,
Bye.
Shout out to all of us and Aaron
All right,
Brown.
Aaron Brown, our Lord and Savior. Okay, bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.